didn't. I like it when you discover people that are secret preppers, that they keep it way underneath their overt personality, and then you're right. I was shooting this shit with some guy a couple months ago, and he's like, "So, you do any prepping?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I love it. It's awesome. It's like, I don't play fantasy football. I like participate in these like preparation games or whatever, because it's just an interesting thought exercise to walk yourself through. And oh, by the way, if something happens, you also have kind of a group of contingencies that you can operate from." And he's like, "Okay." And it was like I passed the test because I was like, "Yeah, man, let's go." And then he started unpacking everything for me. It's like, "Oh yeah, I got a shipping container buried on my property."
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool. So do I." Yeah, I like that. I like it when I see that stuff.
Well, it is a good thing to know.
Yeah.
Mike Glover's great at that, which got him labeled a terrorist.
I think
he's fucking explaining to people how to prepare in case things go sideways, and they're like, "You are a problematic individual."
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Well, I do know how that happens.
How did it happen?
I think you have a bunch of people within the federal government that have a political agenda, and or they don't understand. They see any and everyone in the country that owns a firearm as some type of threat at some point, and they have to be, what I would say is, familiar with all aspects of America. They have to really understand, like, hey, there's a group of people out there that prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's what they do, and they're really into it. And just because they're going to the range with a group of friends and they're preparing doesn't make them domestic terrorists. It just makes them prepared. Yeah.
And here's the thing that I think people should put in their heads. Does everybody remember? I'm going to speak to people that live in Los Angeles, because this is where it gets rare. Does everybody remember the lines outside the gun stores? Do you remember during the riots, there was lines outside the gun stores? Yeah. Listen to me, kids. Keep that energy. Keep that energy, because that didn't go away forever.
No.
That was just a couple of years ago, and the weirdness of life, the weirdness of the way the world works, some shit could pop off anywhere and everywhere. That's real. That's a real possibility. We all saw what just happened in Israel. It's a real possibility that some shit could pop off. And to bury your head in the sand and pretend that that's not possible, that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help anybody. And to prepare, why is preparing bad?
Do you think that's it's part of the cultural differences between people, like just in general, between like red and blue and people? They're what I would say is, the question is, there's people that are really individual. They want to take accountability, and there's other people that are like, I want to bury my head in the sand.
And I want the government to take care of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's part of it?
It's part of it, but there's also there's a weird denial of possibility that comes along with not wanting preparedness. And it's one of the rare times when I look at someone like Mike Glover being labeled a terrorist, it's one of the rare times I go, well, there might actually be a conspiracy to keep people weak.
Yeah.
They might want to look at people like that as resistance to authoritarianism, and they want to squash that. It's one of the rare times where I don't look at it objectively. I look at decisions like that. I go, oh, you like weak people. You only want weak people. You don't want people to challenge you once you get into power. You don't want people to say, hey, that's against the law, or hey, this is not the way we're supposed to be operating. You want people to just comply. And when no one's armed, people comply. And when everyone's armed, it's really hard to get people to comply, especially if they're kind of in agreement. If there's a large percentage of us that are in agreement, like, no, you can't listen to all my phone calls.
Right.
Like, you're just a person.
Yeah.
Whether you work for whatever fucking agency, if I'm a guy who works at a tire shop who doesn't do anything wrong and you want to listen to all my phone calls, what? You're just a person. What you should be, look, if you find a guy who you know is fucking wearing a suicide vest, is about to walk into a wall, you know something's going on, yeah, listen to that guy's phone. And if you got a chain of terrorists that you're studying and you need to listen to their phones, fuck yeah, listen to their phones. But if a guy just likes to can peaches and he owns a couple of 9mm and an AR, you want to listen to his phone? Hey man, fuck you.